The dunes are looking very dangerous. Please keep a lookout, dog runners.
The reason I decided to participate in the Marathon De Sables was to be with my brothers.
Oh, what am I doing here?
Exactly. What am I doing here?
Grandma had just passed away. We live on 3 different continents. We're not as close as we should be. Let's do something amazing to celebrate her life.
That one was for you, Grandma. When the boys said, let's do this, I thought, it's a stupid idea. Still is a stupid idea.
Jodie doesn't necessarily understand why I'm doing this. She's commented that it could be a selfish motivation.
So, like, he loses his job, and I'm like, you're not really still doing this, are you? Why would you risk yourself when you have 3 little kids?
People have different types of depression and different depths of depression or anxiety. I've just got this constant fear that I'm going to get told I'm not good enough.
Do I stay with the boys, or do I push my body and see what I've got, because I haven't pushed myself yet?
No way I'm coming back out here again.
I don't know if you'll actually continue.
My feet are just in agony. They're oozing with blood.
Incredible pain.
No one should be left behind.
We are brothers!
My name is Marcus White, so I'm the second eldest. Born in England, but living in Sydney, Australia, and I have been for the last 15 years. Whenever you say, I've got 4 brothers, people automatically go, wow, that's amazing. Mum actually used to have a cattle bell to ring, so at dinner time, it was like sheepdogs coming in for dinner, and there was a big pot in the middle, and then it was just fend for yourself. The idea of the 5 of us being together to do a race. We're going into it thinking, okay, we're doing it as brothers and we want to do it together. But throughout the journey, you'll have your own sort of inner reflections going on, and can I succeed? Will I fail?
He had been running a business and he'd had to part ways with his business partners because things just weren't panning out. Money wasn't quite. Anyway, he felt like he'd failed me and the kids. I think he also felt like he'd failed his family. They're a really strong group of people. He felt he was a failure as a white boy, and it took a long toll on him. I think I knew he was depressed before he knew he was depressed, and said to him, I think you should go and speak to somebody about it. And he said, yep, I think I should too. He did. Life changer.
I'm on medication, but I think events like this are my medication too. My charity is going to be Beyond Blue, which talks about male anxiety and depression. But it's funny with the brothers, they see you in different lights. And I think that's probably partly us not knowing each other as well as we think we know each other as well. The biggest part of the journey for me, I think, will be just seeing how we cope under those stresses as well. Whether we come together or we potentially fall apart.
I'm just like, go for it. Why wouldn't you? Because why wouldn't you?
Hey, monster. God, you've lost some weight. You see, there's bits going on. Yeah, I know.
We've got 5 sons, and they live all around the world. We have some sporting credentials, but nothing like what they're about to take part in now.
Have you got a big interview, Stu?
What's that?
Big interview.
I'm running in this.
Just on the occasion.
Their grandmother, she was quite a character. She loved sport. She had a wicked sense of humour, and they just related to her. She did things that parents weren't allowed to do Mostly to do with girlfriends. And the race really is for her. A lot of the charities are based on things that she would have been very happy for them doing. If I could do it, I'd do it. I mean, I'm jealous.
Hey, cheers, James' birthday. Yeah. And great to have him over here. And thanks to Jodie and the girls and Kingsley for supporting me and letting me be here. Preparing has been tough. Harder than I can possibly imagine, honestly, training for a 5.5 marathons over 6 days. The amount of time and energy it takes away from work, from family. My wife has been a massive support in it, and my 3 children have been awesome as well.
I mean, it's like, what are you trying to prove? And for what? And to who? And I still don't really get it. He lost his job, and my dad died all within like 2 weeks of each other. And he decided to continue and do the race.
His decision to do this without my support has kind of made me question our compatibility. I wouldn't risk my life like that with 3 little kids at home. I just wouldn't.
And I think individually, you are probably the fittest you've ever been. I mean, you look at your weights. You're down to the sort of weights you wear.
Chris is down by 2 kgs.
Teenagers.
My name's Chris White. For the last 10 years I've been in banking. Before I started training for this, I'd never run a marathon before. When the MDS challenge was put forward, yes, I thought it was absolutely nuts, but at the same time, there's no way I was going to let my brothers do it without me. I am a little bit weaker than them. I'm slightly slower. I would be absolutely heartbroken if I wasn't able to complete it.
We actually haven't finalised our strategy. I think some of the boys just think we might be able to run at the same pace the entire time, which I don't think is possible.
What are you going to do?
I'm the youngest of the 5 White brothers. Growing up, I had a stammer because I always wanted to get my words known, and they did it then. But they were always talking, and it was just such a big, crazy household. Maybe I'll be a bit too headstrong, maybe a little bit cocky. This is the first time and only time I'll ever do this race. Personally, if I was in by myself, I would want to finish kind of top 100. I just want us to go as fast as we can. Yes, it's full finish together, but I think we should definitely treat this as a race. You're the fastest, mate.
Are you trying to get a ranking?
I think we should finish top 100.
Mate, the idea is to finish safely.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think we can do that. I think you underestimate how much training we've done.
Just take it as it comes.
So it was all very spontaneous when we decided. It was after the passing of our grandmother, and we'd all been away together in Mexico, which was quite rare for us to be together in one place, given 2 of my brothers live all over the world.
Dad, taxi's here.
Hello. Life insurance is sorted.
We hope, anyway.
I'm worried about the unforeseen. Training in the UK hasn't been particularly conducive for the desert, and also the fact that I've got a lot of family and friends who've supported me, and I've raised quite a lot of money for charity.
And all this stuff about competing and trying to get in the top 100, I think we just suck it and see. There's no way we can possibly know what's ahead of us.
Do you feel a responsibility, being the oldest, to make sure we're all okay?
I feel a responsibility to make sure that you look after me.
This is day 1 of 10. Stu and I, Christopher and Henry are going to be here tomorrow. Marcus is arriving into Marrakesh today.
Just been handed our race book.
Called the toughest foot race on earth for a reason. I mean, the Sahara, it evokes from everyone the idea of mirage and beau geste and big dunes and conquering, and that sits within our psyche as an itch that the only way you can scratch it, the only way you really know, is to go out and do the MDS. If If you think that these people have spent many thousands of pounds getting there, a year at least in terms of training and preparation, they've got the support of all their friends and their families and their colleagues. They typically have done this for a charity. There's a huge amount at stake. The moment you set foot on the sand, it doesn't matter who you are at home. You've got this exactly the same, identical challenges. It's a voyage of self-discovery. You can never fight the desert. You must dance with the sand. Get the MDS right, and it's probably one of the best things you'll ever do in your whole life. You get it wrong, and it can be absolutely horrible.
Yesterday was a little crazy, coming into camp, seeing the setup, trying to get our race packs down. You see the guys behind us still trying to sort through their food and equipment.
And the biggest fear is the battery's going to run out in about 5 minutes. And I'll still have half my hair left.
Chris is helping me save some weight.
Yeah.
Each hula hoop is 0.5 grams. Every gram is essential. This is where you see that Chris is anal. Going to the decimal place, 2 decimal places on the calories. Oh, really?
It's always about 2 decimal places. In banking, you have to.
Surely in banking it's about a lot more than 2 decimal places.
No, it shows exact science.
Is that why it's all gone wrong?
It has all gone wrong.
We have a dune stage tomorrow. Just over my shoulder are some huge dunes.
So on one hand it's great because we get to get it straight out the way. On the other hand, it's when we've got the heaviest pack. We've got about 13 kgs in our backs when we're going through it, so it's going to be an interesting one, but I think all of us are quietly nervous.
Ah!
Asshole.
Yeah, the first time I've ever shaved someone's hair before.
And probably the last.
That looks shit. During the check-in, your bags are put on a set of scales. Every kilogram you have to carry throughout the race. You have to be self-sufficient for the whole 7 days. In addition, you have to have medical forms, ECG that's been signed off by your doctor, that you bring back or bring over from the UK. Unfortunately, 1 out of 5 of us managed to it up, but I won't name names. Henry. We've just got an hour penalty for his little misdemeanor.
We're not looking to win this thing.
Oh, not anymore. Not getting in the 100 anymore.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Don't worry.
One of those things.
It's not as if you're disqualified. That would be a problem.
Well, I thought I was going to be at one point. Oh, shit again.
Come on, fine.
This is not cool, is it? I was the one that was pushing us to finish further up the field, and I'm the one making us fall down. It's all ironic, isn't it?
Ce que je trouve c'est extraordinaire que 5 frères qui vivent différents endroits du monde se retrouvent comme ça au milieu du désert pour relever un défi tous ensemble. C'est réuni ça chez les 5 frères. Quand on voit des familles qui se déchirent pour des choses tellement stupides.
There's number 5.
Number 5 is coming. He's naughty.
C'est le méchant.
C'est le baby. He's the baby.
Alors le petit frère. Vous partagez la pénalité. Hein?
Are you sharing the penalty?
Nope.
No.
It's all on my head. Merci, Patrick. Merci.
Avec plaisir. Merci, merci.
The MDS started 31 years ago. It was the dream of Patrick Bauer. He woke up one morning and said to his brother, I have had a dream. I'm going to run across the Sahara. And his brother famously turned around and said, still having a nightmare, shut up, go back to sleep.
Alors cette 31e édition est dédiée au partage et à la solidarité.
Unsupported, he did 260 Ks from one side to the other side of the Sahara.
Press those sweet lips.
So he came back full of stories and of adventure, of self-discovery. He spoke to his friends in France who said, we want to do it. That sounds like a great idea. Roll forward 31 years and we have 1,300 people on the start line of one of the most epic events on the planet. This is about one man's dream becoming something that was absolutely extraordinary and becomes now every year 1,300 people's dreams.
Dreams were like the trees in the wind.
I know I've been preparing for the last 12 months plus, but the amount of pent-up anxiety suddenly just was released.
Now, unless you have any experience of dune running, that can be quite serious. It really is a thinking game, and that is the dance. You dance that correctly, and you can move very fast, swiftly. You fight against it, you're going to end up in a pile that's going to sink down at the bottom. It is absolutely brutal. All they can feel is pain.
That is what you call a headwind. Trying to run into that is difficult. Windy, sandy, heavy, and quite loud. This is what we're contending with. You feel sick? Stomach sick or head sick?
Oh, we move easy. Just like the breeze.
Chris, how do you feel, buddy? I feel amazing. Really good. Stewie? Yeah, not bad. This man can be good.
You know, I thought housekeeping was included in the...
I know.
Entry.
It's like, yeah, do you know what? Run a marathon.
And then you got to make your own bed.
They make you a bed.
It's gotten real.
This is the first stage. It's meant to be the shortest. I've done this on purpose.
People looked visibly shocked. There was a real wake-up call. And when I went round the camp at night asking people how they were, people said, if it's going to be like that, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to cope.
So we were in a sandstorm for a good 5 hours. Nice bit of a sand tan line. People pay a lot of money for this kind of spray.
I suspect I'll be at the back most days, probably a bit more cautious as well. So I just want to get through this, and I'm just watching all the stones and actually looking at some amazing fossils as well. I'm trying to find some fossils for my daughters. At some point, if I'm allowed to, I'm going to find one.
I was trying to teach the Americans some Australianisms, like the sparrow's fart, which is getting up early.
The quality of life in San Diego is incredible.
It's very similar to Sydney.
Yeah. It took me about 5 years to call San Diego my home, and now I feel very content there. But doing something like this with, you know, my close family that my brothers live across the world, it makes me think that I want to spend more time with them.
I love my family dearly, but I've also got my own family. These sort of things are amazing, bonding. We've all grown up and we're all getting on with our lives. And my first priority is my family, and I know it was difficult when Grandma passed away, because I spoke to Grandma 2 weeks before she passed, and I'd been pretty crap with my correspondence with her. Just even having that conversation was phenomenal, but that's upsetting as well. You miss those sort of times.
Yeah, I got a lovely text the other day from my eldest Isabel, saying that she doesn't let me know how much she loves me, and very often, and that I've got to come back because she's got no one else to swear at if I don't come back. Not that she swears very often.
When we're apart, we're really within our families, and we love being that. I certainly do. But it's nice. I think setting like this is back to basics.
Chris and Henry, probably about 2 minutes behind me. We're going to catch up at checkpoint 3. Stuart and Mark's been running together.
Hi, Marcus.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too good, not too bad. Asian experience, we'll catch them in later stages.
We came ahead to try and carve down this penalty time. Oh, love you, bro. Love you too, mate. I reckon we've knocked off maybe half an hour in the last 2 days. That one was for you, Grandma.
Oh, fuck, that was challenging.
It's nice to spend a couple of hours together and just having this memory. It's going to be something to talk about when we're old and crinkly. Marcus and I obviously were the closest growing up in age, so we probably knew each other better than the other brothers. And I really have missed him. You know, he's been in Australia for a long time.
Like me and Stuart fought all the time. We literally hated each other for 16 years of our lives. We only reconnected after university. I think it's these sort of things where, as adults, we can get back together and talk about it and not necessarily relive the past, but just sort of talk about the future and our families and what we have achieved.
I expect that the other boys are going to have the camp ready, stove prepared by the time we get back in. Eggs on, G&T ready. That is a Mirage.
So effectively, I grew up with Marcus and James. I didn't grow up with Christopher and Henry. They came later, and I was at university when they were small. So I think in some ways it's rekindling that bonding experience with my older brothers and getting to know my younger brothers more and more.
What date is it today? It's the 12th today, isn't it? I've got messages from Karen and the girls. They're saying that they miss me very much and they've managed to track us today. It sounds like an awful course full of dunes. Have you managed to get any good night's sleep, and did you celebrate our anniversary in style? Love and miss you very much, and lots of love. That's worth running a marathon for.
Amazing.
It really is.
Happy anniversary, bro. I remember when you got engaged, Chris and I were sitting in White House, cross-legged watching GoldenEye.
Really?
And we got a phone call, and then Mum was like, she wants to tell you something to you boys. And then you were
Thailand.
Yeah, you were in Thailand, and you said, you get engaged to Karen. We were like, wow. Okay, let's watch GoldenEye again. And then we carried on watching it.
Really? Oh, that's nice to hear. I didn't know that.
It's amazing how you're really important things in your life, you remember exactly where you were.
Because you must have been pretty young then.
Yeah, really young. 8, I think.
8 years old. That's amazing.
Which whenever Chris, myself and Stu go running, suddenly Stu heads off into the distance. And you know it's because Beyonce Running comes on. And the first time we played, it's like, you guys should hear it. It's a great song. It's by this woman called Beyonce.
Not sound like that.
It's brilliant.
Typically, you'll find stage 3 as a bit of a defining point. You find people that have worked out what it is they need to do. Their plan is usually based upon their learnings over the past 2 days. If you have not got to that aha moment, come day 3, you've suddenly got this problem because you're going, I don't know what to do. That's the danger zone.
2.5 Ks here, day 3. Starting at a pretty quick pace, right at the front of the pack. How you doing, bro? James is trooping.
James used to play for Sale Sharks Rugby Club. There's stories of him like nearly completing the beep bleep test and beating all the first team professionals. He's definitely got my dad's gene where he won't say no, he'll just keep pushing himself. I used to watch him as a child on the sideline at rugby with my dad, and yeah, he just inspired me.
Maybe suffering from going a bit too hard and fast. The strength of shape, man. I've got you.
The race was always a way to dig a little deeper into who I am and what I believe and what motivates me. I remember back to my 20s and knew exactly who I was. I think about my wife, Jodie, and my kids. Jodie doesn't necessarily understand why I'm doing this. She's commented that it could be a selfish motivation behind it. But honestly, I think it's more about making people feel proud of me. I'm going to make a real effort to spend more quality time with my family and prioritize them versus other things in my life.
118.
Incredible pain. I can't control my body temperature. And it's killing me. It's making me nauseous. It's making me really fatigued. And it's making my legs feel like jelly. The sun is so hot. It must be 120 degrees out here.
Quite enjoying today. It's bloody hot though. Really, really, really hot. There's no wind at all. James is nearly 40 now. I've got 13 years on him. But he's still an absolute machine. Let me know when.
Today was really hard for me. I started to hallucinate. I saw a massive jelly bean chasing me over the dunes.
No.
I'm being deadly serious.
To be honest, you're running with Henry there. That's not surprising. Sure it wasn't him.
No, he dressed up in a jelly bean.
A ginger bean.
No, it was a blackcurrant one. Hi, Dad. Kingsley wants you to know that he got to go to a takeout with Hudson, his friends. He had the best day and got to dance with the mouse. It seems like you're doing really well. Keep it up. We all love you. Everyone is really excited about your pictures. Kingsley says he really loves you and hopes that you have a good day. And goodbye. Oh, and Mr. Charles from school, Grace's teacher, gave her an article from the Union Tribune about you and Marcus. They are all really proud of you. Grace says you're famous. Laugh out loud. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Yeah, it makes it worth it, doesn't it? Really? When do we get home?
The camp will always wake up with a sense of nervousness. If you were to stop anybody, you'd say, what's your biggest concern about the MDS? Without hesitation, everyone will say it's the long stage, stage 4. Had 3 days of extreme running already before. You don't know how you're going to react. You're doing 90 odd kilometres. This last stage is interminable. This stage plays with every single part of your very being. This plays with every injury you've started with, every bit of blister pain, every muscle ache you've got. It plays with your hydration if you haven't got that right. It really will expose any weakness you've got, and it'll hit you very, very hard, usually when you're feeling at your lowest. The air temperature may be in mid-40s, the apparent temperature could easily be in the top 50s. It's a very toxic mix. It makes you feel like you're boiling inside.
Okay, be strong.
Yeah, look after yourself.
Everybody else, heads in, mind's on. We're going to make it to the end. Yeah. We're going to complete this, right?
Yeah. Love you, boys.
Love you.
Day 4. Boom. I had to make a really hard decision this morning, probably the hardest of the year, and that was, do I stay with the boys or do I push my body and see what I've got, because I haven't pushed myself yet. I've been kind of running with James. When he wants to walk, I'd walk. When he wants to run, I'd run. I don't think I'm going to do this race again.
You have just seen this monster in front of us that I believe we are going up and over. Climbing the Jebel and reaching the summit and flying the Union Jack in victory with Stuart. It was both intimidating and also exhilarating.
Yeah. That was worth it.
It's just like a little colony of ants.
So I've been feeling a bit queasy all morning, just trying not to think about it, concentrating more on my blister on my foot, taking away the nausea.
He's been sweating a lot this morning as well, which is not a good sign that he might be under the weather.
Mine's been leaking all the way through, so I can only fill it to about halfway, and it just starts squirting everywhere. So I'm having to, I've lost quite a lot of water already. When the boys said, let's do this, I thought, it's a stupid idea. Still is a stupid idea. But the idea of the four of them being out here and me being at home, they wouldn't let me live it down.
Oh, this is real. This is what it's like, especially when you've got a running tandem beside me.
I'm just gushing the water, so I'm just trying to get the water back on. And luckily, Marcus gave me half a water bottle, otherwise I probably wouldn't have made it through the last checkpoint. So I've been really struggling, real dark place. But Marcus has been a lifesaver. He's really helped me get through today. I think I definitely had thoughts of whether I was going to drop out.
I suppose coming out here wasn't one of my ideas, and I've come out here to support my brothers and make sure they're all fine. Funnily enough, I'm the one they're having to look after now. The financier and me, I break everything down into blocks, what's manageable. Did have one moment with Marcus when we were running down the dunes, talking about Grandma, and told him the story about her not making it for the wedding. I think Laura and I were in the marquee the day before, and a butterfly flew past. And it triggered this memory of when we were at her funeral. Again, a butterfly flew past. So we sort of joked and said, oh, she's here in spirit. Grandma, if you're looking out for me, just make sure my heels stay together and I can run the next day. Because I need to complete this race. Because I'm sure as hell I'm not coming back out here.
I had my first emotional moment actually since I've been here. It's just when the stars came out, just put my iPod on shuffle, and the first song came on was Caribou, Can't Do Without You. And the second that I heard it, it just reminded me of my grandma. It was pretty special. And I looked at the stars and then we just powered it through. It was awesome.
We could have cruised it in, but it just felt right to pick up tempo and just work for it.
Yeah, it was really good. Loved it. Really enjoyed it.
Satisfaction.
God, I cried on camera. It's got to be the saddest thing ever. How are the boys doing?
One 6. Are you okay? Yeah,
You have to find the beauty in the pain, and I try to every minute. That's the toughest thing I think I've ever done. All the training I've done has to be worth something. All the time I've been spending away from the family.
Well done, mate.
Oh, mate. Oh, sorry.
You nailed it.
Saw 2 shooting stars.
No way.
Yeah. Oh. Right, let's go to bed.
Wish upon a star.
Hi Izzy, hi Lee. Just finished the double marathon in 19 hours. I'm proud of myself. I'm absolutely shattered.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, exactly. What am I doing here? So I was dreaming of a nice cold glass of ice-chilled Chardonnay. Yeah, but the lads are still up there. I don't know. Worrying about Chris. This feeling that way.
Marcus, how are you doing?
Yeah, shit.
Something happened.
No, just with Chris. Just long day. Terrible. I want to get up fucking again. Merci. He's been hobbling the whole way on those cut feet, so I don't know if he'll actually continue.
How was it? Was it painful to watch?
It's fucking awful. You could see this from, I don't know, about 6 k's out, and I don't know, it took us about 2.5 hours to walk that bit. I was planning only to be out there for 12, 13 hours. So everything is just over 22 hours. It's too much for the body to cope. But Christopher needed help. I'll do it again.
Every step has been so painful. I think all the skin's come away. All my heels and all over my balls of my feet. If I didn't complete it, then I'd have to come back out and do it again. There's no way I'm coming back out here again. I feel bad for Marcus, because I made him stay out a lot longer than he should have done. He's got diarrhea as well, so he's been going to the toilet maybe 16 times, 17 times. Just don't touch my shoes.
No. Okay.
Don't touch my shoes.
Well, then you. This is the hardest thing you can possibly do.
You ready, boys? When I came in last night, I was in a bad way, and immediately they've got the miso soup on. They're taking my backpack off. They're making sure I'm fine, and that's love. I mean, that's how our parents have brought us up.
My God, you look alive again. I was worried when you came back. You had bad tummy too. Yeah, okay, that's good. What's the aim for him to compete tomorrow?
I've never done something that long before. So you just go into this dark hole, and it's hard to get a positive thought in your mind. But I've just got this constant fear that I'm going to get told I'm not good enough. You think about something, and then you think about it again, and you think about it again, and again, and again. But each time it gets progressively worse or bigger, to a point where you can't think about anything else. Your whole life is just enveloped in this thought process. And it's always a negative thought process.
My feet are a mess, so we're trying to sleep on it to see how I feel tomorrow. But I need to work out in my head whether I'm going to do it.
Luckily, Marcus kind of stuck with Chris the whole way, which is amazing. There's only one person that kind of matters in the situation, and that's taking his bag off and making sure he's all right, even though he told me to fuck off about 4 times. I know what Chris will do. Chris will race, because he's too strong-minded not to. And even if he hobbles like Gandalf the whole way, he'll do it.
Well, he is in absolute agony, and I want him to be there, but I also don't want him to just try and prove it, just to be a statistic, to be the 5 brothers who made it through. I think brotherhood is also about telling somebody when they need to stop.
I mean, you look around camp, everybody's hobbling, everybody's just having to grit and bare their teeth. Even though I can't walk at the moment, you kind of look at that and say, come on, let's get this done. I think Henry's doing fantastically well. He's head of the pack. I think all of us are rooting for it.
I haven't run with you or Stu yet, and mate, I can't run. So if you're gonna spend a marathon walking, it's not fair on you. I mean, you've got a chance to let loose, and you've shown that today. I mean, Christ, it's a double marathon, and you're up there in the ranks. Now imagine how many people are going to be sore from today, and then you let loose, get the most out of this race.
We've all been wishing for the last day for a while, but now it's here. It's kind of sad.
This is the second time I put my socks on today. Well, it's the first time I put my socks on.
Oh, here we go.
This is the first time I put Christopher's socks on, which I washed.
Which we brand new yesterday. And he wondered why they were so nice and white. He's like, oh my God, this like washed these up so well.
So Chris called me on it. I realised they were his socks, had to take them off and then put my dirty socks on.
Very reluctantly.
Which I hadn't washed. So this is...
It's called brotherly love, isn't it?
And the sun's looking rather spectacular right now.
Hey, this is not my fault. I can't control my tears and my emotions. It's good to be in touch.
You poked your finger in your eye.
Brotherhood's more than just a race. Brotherhood's a journey, accepting each of you as individuals, that you're different. We don't need to finish this together. We just need to be together and healthy at the end of it.
Found out last night that me and Scott came 88th and 89th, which meant we're right down the pack. So I think I'm now 148th overall. If I didn't have the hour penalty, I'll be 99th. I'll be top 100. So actually, I feel it more than ever.
It's 6:30, and we need to be there by 6:45. Start at 7.
We're a bit worried about Chris at the moment. His feet are in a mess. So we're all in a mess, but I think he's suffering particularly badly. And I've decided I'm going to go with Chris at the back. We'll make sure that we get across together.
I'm stubborn, and when I've got something in my head, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to be out there with the boys, wincing. I'm moving slowly. I think I've got this new shuffle going that Marcus thinks is hilarious, but it seems to ease my pain.
Today's the last one, so it's just enjoying the day.
Two things I wanted to achieve out here. One was companionship with my brothers around camp. I try and help the boys as much as I can and try and give that way. And one was test yourself. I think if people are just always content with normality, no one would ever strive to do anything great. I'm not saying I don't do anything great, but it's just good to find out more about yourself. And you just know when you cross that line, that's it, it's done. I pushed myself so hard in the last run that I nearly threw up over the line. So it's just the kind of just overwhelming feeling that this is done.
We've got a new dance. It's called the Sahara Shuffle.
It would be tough not to finish after doing 5 marathons and failing on the 6th. One of our training runs, he really suffered and it wasn't very well, and he's actually told us he was stopping, and he ended up finishing the race and ended up in hospital. I'm not advising that, but that's sort of character he is.
Definitely mind over matter, isn't it? There's some powerful painkillers. Well, for once, this is what it looks like at the front of the pack.
The finish line was inside. I was probably about 200 or 300 meters away, but it was suddenly at that point that everything started to fail. So I was starting to get really hot. My head was sort of overheating. I had this tunnel vision and blacking out. If I'd been any further out than I was, I wouldn't have made it at that point. I literally crawled over the finish line.
This is urgent medical vehicle needed for Marcus White.
I think the Marathon De Sables, it's one of those places where everyone goes into those dark holes. The resilience that people have is phenomenal. But what I love is the people that I'm around every day, and they're the things that keep me going. And I think that's similar in a way to depression. I think you can try and fight it by yourself, but knowing that people are there who can listen and support you is a wonderful thing. This place is just, it personifies that. You've got all these people who are crazy, but not in a bad way, just they're so focused on what they're doing and how they're trying to do it, but they're leaning on each other. They're going to that pinnacle of darkness where they're sort of saying, I'm going to drop out, and I just can't do it anymore. But then something in them brings them out.
Let's go. Suck it in. Look it away. Concentrate here. Regards to finish the toughest foot race on earth. Have you?
I think when you're out here running the race, it's each man for themselves. They're going through their own demons, their own darkness. They're finding themselves, and then coming together and retelling their stories afterwards.
I'm so glad you ran it, mate. You ran it for me. I'm so proud of you. Oh, I can't wait for another painkiller. Bigger claps again.
Don't come down because you won't be able to get up.
Oh, I love you, mate.
You too.
When you're growing up, you're told that you're the youngest of 5 brothers, how amazing it is to be one of 5. In honesty, the age gap is so vast that actually we did grow up differently in different places. We are very different people. Brotherhood was Christmases together and the odd Skype, but now it's something completely different. Now it feels like how everyone used to describe it to me growing up. They are my 4 best friends in the world, and I'll do anything for them.
We can see you play each other.